Hi everybody, I'm Seamus.
I'm Josh.
I'm Ritzgar.
And I'm Chris.
And here we are against, some of our better judgment.
We decided to do a Hitman game for a full spoiler warning season, but not one of the good ones.
Which would be any of the ones except this one.
Actually, there's really only one good Hitman game.
Stop saying that. You shut up.
The first two kind of weren't so good, and then this one's kind of not so good.
Okay, the very first Hitman game was pretty awkward and hadn't really gotten the vision right yet, but yeah.
Well, we'll have plenty of time to get into Hitman games and their hierarchy later on, while Josh is hiding in a closet for 20 minutes because he saw this one really cool way to do a mission on the internet. But for the meantime, I like to introduce this a little bit because some people will know the Hitman series mostly just through watching me stream it for blood money, which is a very interesting way to become acquainted with this. Hitman is kind of always been a bit of an odd duck in games, especially AAA games, in that it's one where, you know, instead of a very tight, linear sort of story, it's larger, more sandboxy levels with a few different ways through them, but it still focuses on murder as a main mechanic. Like, evading people is fine, but ultimately it all comes down to killing somebody. It's like a violent adventure game. And of course, the game does seem to be perfectly happy to let you just shoot your way through everything.
Turn on subtitles.
Okay, wait. Before you do that, I want to play my subtitle game with you guys watching this. So we did a dry run of this, so we know, but I want you to write down the 3 menus you think it is most likely to be contained under the subtitle option. Okay?
Maybe.
Okay.
It's in text language.
To be honest, my first guesses would be sound, display, and then text language. That would be my top 3 guesses.
And then graphics, and
then
maybe
graphics.
aim and camera, and then maybe mouse and keyboard.
Maybe.
So, Josh, why don't you just go to where it is?
Okay. It's in here. In hints and hints.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this was fun for me because I played this game the first
Agent
time
47's
on a difficulty that
instinct
turned
allows
off
him
hints
to
and
see the
instinct.
text of the thing that the people are saying.
It's like the TV we own where they have closed captioning listed under superpowers. You know, it's just a little bit different.
Only one save slot in this game, which is fun. We're gonna play on normal because easy is boring and hard is a pain in the ass.
Listen to me.
It is going to be hard because we are going to be giving you advice, and that is what will make this hard. This is actually the hardest way to play Hitman Absolution, is with us heckling you.
Rutskarn is just sitting there going, "Ha Josh, finally I'll get revenge for all your stupid backseat driving when you were doing the Hitmas episodes."
Yeah, well, no, I know all the absolute best ways to murder people. Here's a pro tip, Josh. The best method to killing anyone is the one that invites the most forced pun about the implement you're using.
Yeah, no, that's objectively the worst way to murder someone.
Yeah, like, so if for example, you ever, like, need to kill, like, a German soldier, and, like, or, like, one of those, like, biker dudes who's got, like, a German soldier helmet, you just grab it off his head and stab him with it and be like, "Pickle, how about that?" That's the sort of caliber I'm talking about. It's not going to be pretty. Nobody's going to like it. I'm going to like it, but nobody else.
I hate this already. I've changed my mind. No, I don't want to do this game anymore. No, I changed my mind. Let's go back.
Sit down. We're here. We're in this for the long haul now.
Of course, we say this pretending that we did not actually record all of this last week and then discovered there was a problem with the footage.
Yes, that is what I'm talking about by the dry run. So that this game is a little technically awkward.
47. This is Benjamin Travis.
Why is Powers Booth in a
Money has been
helicopter?
wired to your account.
That's an excellent
I don't know, but
question.
God bless him
Welcome
for
to
it.
Chicago.
Like,
appreciate you
like
taking
there
this
is no
assignment,
reason to be in a
47.
helicopter
It's
during
never
this
easy
mission.
targeting
In fact,
your
he's
own,
nowhere
but
near you
then
and
the
what you're
abundance
doing.
of treason must
Like,
be
he's
dealt
in the
with.
city flying
Which
around
ended
in a
one of the
helicopter,
teams, but
and you're
this
out
is
in
a
the
job for a
country
scalpel, not a
doing
hammer.
driving an ice
These
cream
are
truck
very
for
relevant.
reasons we'll get to in a minute.
What?
He's
Yeah, wait.
completely
Was that an
unrelated to
intentional
you.
juxtaposition where he says we need a scalpel, not a hammer, and then you drive up to this place in an ice cream truck?
Look, we need a soft serve cone, not a hammer.
Like
Yes.
this is
So,
47's
I wanna make
plan
something-
A.
Like, I feel like I need to make something clear here,
Yeah, I know. I'll get rid of him.
which is when people were going in the new Hitman game, they're like, okay, so here's something that
Partner.
seemed to have died out just as games were getting a little more console-y, samey, as we would perceive it, and our kinds of stealth games were starting to disappear. Is this game going to be true to the legacy like they say it is, or is it going to abandon all of the kind of, like, elements of subtlety that we had grown accustomed to in Blood Money? And so the game starts. I want to. You all pay attention here. So we just
First of all, try to
drove up an ice cream truck, lured a guy to it, and pulled him into the ice cream truck. Now, the Hitman series is based around taking disguises from people who are knocked out.
Next to it is
So,
radar.
to
Use it
teach
to
us
keep
that,
track of
they
enemies'
have
objectives.
placed this guy
even-
inside the ice cream truck
see
and
him.
locked it.
You can see what weapon you have selected and if it's hidden. Next to the weapon, the yellow bar indicates how much.
I like the idea that 47 just accidentally
47
locked
locks
himself out of his own
the
ice cream truck.
And then turns around and realizes,
He's like-
oh shit, I forgot to take the disguise. God damn it.
Well, just picture this scenario as it played
Alright,
out,
thank
where
you.
it like the stuff they skipped in between the cutscene and letting us play,
You are about
where
to
he
enter
pulls
a
the guy into the
restricted
car,
area.
puts the truck in
The guard
reverse,
will
has
try
it
to
go
arrest you if he
beep
spots you,
beep
so keep
beep
low
as he
and
backs an ice cream truck over to the side of the road.
Items
And then
found
just
in the
starts
world can
walking
be
on
used as
foot
close
towards this
combat
enclosure.
weapons, or you can use them to distract your enemies. Throw the wrench at the buckets to distract the guard.
Shit.
Excellent. Slip past while the guard is
Did
distracted.
you just stealthily beam that guy in the head?
I did.
That's Josh
Being
for you.
arrested, do not
Literally
run.
as subtle as a
Instead, fake
brick to
surrender
the
or calmly
head.
Walk to a secluded area, then deal with your enemy.
And busted right away. The
To
first
get the full
person that is
benefit of
able to
this
see you
interaction,
sees
try to
you.
remain unseen and kill with discretion.
Okay, so this was the first part where I was sort of starting to get the idea that maybe this game, like, so the tutorial Hitman games, I don't think they've ever been good. Like, they've always
body
felt
is now
forced,
hidden.
and they made you do
The
things that
container
you
has
wouldn't
room
really
for one
want to
more
do
body and still has room
yourself
for you
on a
to
later
hide.
mission. But something about, like, my master plan of driving an ice cream truck up into the enclosure, letting a guy radio up, hey, there's an ice cream truck here, come out, I knock him out, I drag him to the truck, and then I get out and walk up to the building in my suit and tie. It just really isn't doing it for me.
Yeah. The tutorial is like, here's what it would be like to play Agent 47 if he was really, really stupid.
My assignment was
though.
to assassinate these gardeners, right?
Yes.
Holster your weapon.
The owner of this
Why?
place is mad about
Push
bad
the fiber wire silently
groundskeeping. And
eliminate
he's
the
like,
guard up
you
ahead.
find those
Clean grab.
groundskeepers, and
Notice
I
the
want them
fiber
all
wire allows you
dead.
to drag your target immediately.
So sort of the nice thing
coffee
about
mug.
this series is that it does let you decide how much lethality you're going to use. Each of the games of the series actually has a different method of non-lethal killing, I think. Like a different sort of main way of doing it, which is tweaked for difficulty, but I think all of them let you get through without killing anybody but the target on everything but the tutorial missions.
I
Silent
think you can
Assassin,
just
I remember.
ignore the tutorial stuff here.
Yeah, Silent
You've
Assassin
activated a checkpoint. If
had you
subdue,
use chloroform,
kill.
which would knock people out
The
for a
choice is
while.
yours.
But I believe that they actually just get up.
Either
Like I remember
way,
that
you
happening.
won't be waking up.
Blood
anytime
Money
soon.
gave you like a syringe that you could bring with you, where you can knock somebody out. Like you can knock like 2 people out, and then you could just punch them, but and like knock them out with your forehead. But they would obviously see you, so that's not really a very sneaky way to do it. This game has a
Because you get
variety of
points off
methods.
for getting spotted. Yeah, you like the goal in the old games was like it kept track if anybody seen you. Sort of the conceit was when the police come here later and talk to everybody, did anybody that's still alive see your face? And your goal is ostensibly to have nobody have any idea who did all this.
Yeah, like Blood Money actually had like a newspaper that would come out the next day that you could read that would like contain key details. That was really nice because it would even have stuff like how many people you killed, how many bodies were found, shell casings, how accurate you were. And if you made a huge mess and made lots of noise, then basically they would, like later missions would be harder. I think that's one thing Chris brought up the last time we tried to do this, which I feel bears, preserving, which is that this game kind of changed its approach radically from that. It sort of switched up from, okay, so here's like the best way to do this too. Just do it however. Any way is good. Just do it your way.
Yeah. It went to the sort of...
it does score you. It does, like, the point scoring happen.
Wait and listen to the people around you.
It did the Splinter Cell thing. Like, if you've played Splinter Cell Blacklist, it does a similar thing, where now any strategy is a viable strategy, whereas before, implicitly stealth was the best one.
Mark my words, kid.
Yeah, but
if you want to get the highest score... if you want to get the highest score, well, actually, it's weird because there are challenges in each mission. You don't actually have to complete the challenge on the run where you finish the mission in order to get the challenge score bonus. But the optimal way to get the best score is to
enemy movement.
Ooh, knife is to do stealth.
I tell you, this gig is like watching paint,
yes,
but at least the service is good.
Yeah, it's not as bad as Splinter Cell. Splinter Cell actually has a name, like you get points in each of the different categories, where in Splinter Cell Blacklist you get points for just killing dudes, or stealthily killing dudes without being seen, or not being seen and being a ghost entirely.
Actually sounds like
our experiment
which I appreciated when Gunpoint did that.
There's you know what? It's there.
Oh. Ooh. That must have hurt.
Gunpoint worked because Gunpoint was not doing the weird thing that Blacklist does with upgrades.
In this disguise, you are allowed to be in the greenhouse area.
Now, okay, so I actually hope I could really sort of get to this over the course of this series, because this is something where I'm sure a lot of people, are already picking nits and disagreeing with my main idea, which is that this game does not reward stealth as much. This game is not as oriented towards you playing it stealthily. I think you can see this in subtle opportunities that are denied or afforded, where it sort of pushes you more in one direction than another one. And to be fair,
so this
even
this game's disguise system is a good example of this.
By completing objectives,
yeah, we're gonna get into the disguise system plenty.
So
finding clever ways to
the way the disguise system works, because I'm disguised as a gardener right now, so people... Like, they've tried to kind of solve the problem of, like, hey, Hitman probably should not be able to blend in with, like, everybody by just putting on a police uniform. Like, maybe they'd notice. So, people who are wearing the same class of disguise as you, like these other gardeners, they will slowly get suspicious of you unless you use instinct to dampen their suspicions. And
as far as that goes, I like that. I like that idea.
Not the stallion armaments.
I like that idea.
It's an interesting idea, but it doesn't like make a whole lot of sense in a lot of situations. Like, okay, so there's a mission towards the end of the game where you're infiltrating a hotel, right? And you can get manager's clothes. Okay, so
the guards are preoccupied.
You go into the hotel, you knock out the manager, you take his clothes, and then nobody in the entire fucking level can at all has any idea that you're not the manager. You are the manager because you have a disguise with a class of one person in it, and that's it. Can I? There we go.
Well, and there's the opposite
you're wearing
situation.
Crocs.
There's the opposite situation too, where like we're gonna come up on the Chinese Chinatown area, and you dress up as a chef, and immediately all of the other chefs are suspicious of you, even though there's like hundreds of chefs. You are somehow uniquely suspicious.
And we wouldn't grouse about verisimilitude, but kind of the whole
You are now
idea
inside
is
the
that
mansion.
this is supposed to be something that's
Right.
intuitive to you,
Suspicious to the mansion guards.
something that you're supposed to be able to
How
like
find a new
figure out,
disguise.
sort of
Try
like
to remain
as you're
undetected.
approaching the situation. Once you figure out the idea, like once you figure out the system, it's kind of interesting from a gameplay perspective, because like it means that you do have to sort of seek out the rare people on the map, and because they're better disguises than the common ones. But you know, it doesn't quite feel right.
Yeah.
I actually would like to talk a little bit about Instinct, if we don't have anything particular to go on about right now.
Sure.
Because I think... Oh, so Instinct was one of the big controversial things about this new entry.
Beyond this door,
You know,
the
so
voting
again,
system
like,
will be turned on.
picture a few years
It will
ago, fans
monitor
are
your
waiting for a new
playstyle
Hitman
and
game. They're
reward
like,
your
well, is this
progress.
going to be true to the last one?
You can see it in the
Hitman is
top
a series
left
well
corner.
known for
As
not
always,
holding
how
your
you
hand.
handle
You have to
your
figure
assignment
out
is
shit, and
entirely
often
up
it's
to you.
unfair stuff. If you like, you really want to get the high scores, you need to come up with like some real, like Roberta Williams dream logic to unpack it. And so they announced that in the new game they're gonna have an instinct system which does a few things, but also that they'd have a purist difficulty where instinct was removed. And I think we'll be able to see over the course of this map, like, whether, you know, not this map, but over the series, whether Instinct is, like, a good addition or not. But I do want to say one thing. They did not design it properly so that the game works without Instinct in it. That is absolutely not true. Instinct is tied to all sorts of dumb little things like the map and your objectives. So when I played the game on Purist, I got to a point where I killed the guy, and then I had no idea where I was supposed to leave. I couldn't go back the way I came. I had no idea where the extraction point was, and I didn't have the ability to check. Unless I mean, I checked every button on the keyboard, but unless, like, there's just something I'm missing, they really didn't think it through very well.
Okay, what's up, dude?
Agent 47 forgot how to get home. That's what happened.
Mommy,
It's like,
can
I'm
you
done.
come pick me up? I'm in Chinatown, and I kill the guy, and it's getting late, and there's some cops, and they're shooting. Can you come get me?
I like how the chef does this great big tirade about this dude who's not appreciating his cooking, and then he just says, hi to me.
Yep. Oh, yeah, and here we're about to see the whole disguise system in action. So you see, you know that security guard who was just having this long conversation with the only world-class chef in the house? Yeah, we're about to disguise ourselves as him, and he's not going to notice.
The
Like,
body is
change
now
blindness
hidden.
is one
The
thing,
container
but
has room
There you
for
go,
don't
buddy.
be fat dude
Chill
with
out.
a
But hey,
mustache.
you can take disguises from
disguised as a
people
chef.
in
You are
body
allowed everywhere
closets
in the ground
now.
floor mansion area.
So, yay.
No one in the mansion will see through this disguise, but be
No one in the
mindful
mansion
Yeah,
will
that's
see
actually a new
through
thing,
this
and
disguise.
that's really
of
good.
suspicion.
You're a class act, man.
Oh, wait.
Don't act so high and mighty. I've seen you got
All right.
Hey, who are
now
you?
Our ensemble
I'm-
is complete.
I'm the new guy. I'm Mr. Boyardee.
So this is like what Rutskarn was saying. This is basically an adventure game earlier, and this is one of the things
Hey,
that
what's up?
shows how it's kind of adventure gamey, where the chef can walk around with a knife, but you sort of have to intuit that. There's nothing that really like. There's no direct signifier that says, you know,
Yeah.
this class can wield this thing. You have to sort of experiment, trial and error, and see if you can get away with it.
I do like that somebody took the time to make it so that you can have a knife as a chef. Although nobody wonders and you wandering around the house with this giant kitchen knife, but that's fine. I'm not really complaining about that. But I like it where if I was a guard, everybody would be like, "What do you got a
held
knife
an
for?"
ice pick.
Yes. Are you sure you're a
Wait,
chef?
rest assured, if you fail in your duties, you will never work in this industry again.
Why was I
What?
not informed?
Who wrote that line?
Report with my intel officer.
That makes
Hi,
sense to
Steve
me.
Blum.
I don't know, what's up?
Talk to the girl?
Rest assured, like, hey, don't worry. If you screw up, you'll never work in this town again.
Yeah, it's ironic. It's sarcastic. That's like, you know, oh, don't worry, you'll never work in this
Oh,
industry
crap.
again. It's a little weak, I agree.
Totally legit chef.
Like the chef's cocktails.
That guy, please get out of the bathroom.
Okay, so I never like tried this, but if somebody walks in on you while you're in this pose, like, is that suspicious?
they will mention something, but they don't actually.
Yeah, but you don't get busted. I did that all the time. I just crouch walked everywhere.
How's it going?
Giuseppe, can we talk a little bit about professional work attitudes and not holding your knife like that, just hiding in corners? It's really upsetting the principal.
Isn't the chef supposed to be like a world-renowned chef too? Like there's only one of him in this whole level. This is another one of those.
Yeah.
Yes.
They make an effort to explain what the hell was like when I was next to that guy. After he was done with his ridiculous speech, he said something like, "Oh, there's a new assistant chef. Why wasn't I informed? Go check in with someone." Blah blah blah. But
I don't know. Why weren't you informed? Your security.
Yeah. You're the.
So are we getting the laxatives or whatever? Sleeping pills?
Yep.
I wish they were laxatives. That would be cooler. Where's
that would actually
be really
be pretty classic
Stuck on a
Hitman.
wall.
Like, okay, so I want to clear this with everybody first. So there might be a point where like somebody's tempted to pick on like some dumb mechanic for like killing somebody in this game. Rest assured, it's in good company. Knocking out in Blood Money, there is a puzzle to knock out a Secret Service agent by pouring ether on a teenage girl's underwear. That is the standard that this series has set for itself. So it can't really get much dumber than that, actually.
Yeah, so you hear he's saying it again.
Report with my intel officer after duty for a security check.
So, one of the things like that's weird about this game.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say one of the things that's weird is that older Hitman titles were sort of open world maps that you sort of tackled any way you wanted, and these are sort of more linear, segmented bits. So it's more like a room by room sort of thing instead of a level by level sort of thing.
Yeah.
Get any closer, I'm gonna put a
And we can talk about the implications of that later, but wow, Josh, he's not happy with you.
Needs a tuning. We should get a piano guy in here.
Yeah, he's definitely unamused.
Why was I not informed?
I like how we
Just
keep saying
cannot stop talking about that.
For a security check.
This series weathers that transition to room-sized levels much better than Deus Ex and Thief did.
Yes,
it's still not great. It's not great, but it doesn't ruin the game utterly like it did for those other two.
It sort of actually works better in this format, because in the old format, as much as it's cool to like sneak around and try to figure out, you know, your way into an entire house and your way out of an entire house, one screw up can undo like 45 minutes of gameplay. And there's no like here when you transition from one little set piece to the next, everything resets. So you can piss off all the guards in one room and then go to the next set piece and nothing really matters. And in the old games that wasn't the case.
Josh?
There is no disguise on him. There's no disguise on anybody.
In the old games, you could leave a body somewhere and think, oh, it's cool, it's safe. 45 minutes pass, and then you'll be walking down another hallway, and then someone will stumble upon the body, and the alarms will trip. And it is not a fun experience to have that happen 20 minutes into a level.
Open the notebook to see your next unlock.
Yeah.
So, let's say we didn't know about the sleeping pills and coffee. Instinct would actually help us by highlighting, like, objects of interest, wouldn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. On easy, I think it like says like, "Oh, this thing is something you should look at."
That's a good change because there's nothing clever about figuring these things out. It's just trial error, exploring the level a lot,
There's also the achievements.
Trying every object against every other object. I'm fine with
that. The
that.
achievements spoil some of that stuff too.
Yeah.
Like if you go to the achievements list, there's like missions that hint at what you need to do.
The fun of the game isn't in figuring out that you need to poison the guy. It's in figuring out how to get those two items together. Okay, here we have something that really makes me uncomfortable about this game. Is the weird mixture of fan service with violence. It's like, hey, there's a sexy lady, you like that, right? Yeah, I know you do. Check out how sexy. Now shoot her! Shoot her! And it's this is not the only time that happens where it really, really lays on the fan service and then expects you to kill the fan service, and it.
But look,
I have no idea how deliberate that is.
She perfectly covered her breasts with the shower curtain. Everything's cool.
There was no
didn't
shower
exist.
curtain. Yeah.
It was on this side.
She didn't grab it.
Okay, 47, you really don't need to shoot her. She appears to have shrink-wrapped herself. She'll suffocate in about 5 minutes.
I like that his gun is engraved with his own logo. Like, he's a super secret assassin that has an easily traceable weapon.
Yeah, okay, so
super
one thing we're
secret
gonna get into
assassin
is
that
that
has a
this game has
barcode
always had a
tattooed
lot
onto
of
his
dumb
head.
things that didn't really work. Like, yeah, like the fact that he's a secret assassin with a barcode tattooed on the back of his head. But,
I mean, this
those
was
things
like
are fine.
kind of the
We just-
conceit of the series.
Yeah, those things are fine. We just sort of ignore them as long as the game doesn't actively go out of its way to draw attention to them. Like this one does. A lot.
Like, yeah, at every possible moment. Yeah. Oh, it is so bad. Now, this is like, what is 47 doing here? He's like, I'm gonna kill her. No, wait, I'm gonna hold hands and talk to her. It's like, and it turns out this was her plan. She knew you were gonna come here and kill him, or come here and kill her. And there's a girl she wants you to rescue, so she tells you to rescue the girl. And this letter that she wrote to the girl, she's like, she knew you would come here. She knew you would kill her. She knew you would take the girl. But she couldn't do anything to avoid the killing step. It's
I promise.
And
Honestly,
it's
she
like,
would've-
oh, I'm gonna kill you, and then he shoots her, and then he's like, oh wait, what
Would
were
she
you
not
doing?
just been
I want to know.
way better off telling her security guards to stand down and just posting signs all over the house saying, 47, I know you're coming, just don't kill me, let me explain some shit. It's okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Sincerely, Diana.
Exactly.
Deal with enemies swiftly.
Like,
See
if
if I
she
can
knew-
get past
if
these
this was
guys.
her plan, was for you to come and get the girl, then why did she hire all these guys to try and murder you?
Oh, I can't.
Okay, so here's one point where these guys, I tried to get past them
anymore.
subtly, and the only way I had to do it, because they took away all my disguises and stuff, was I went around the corner, and I threw my knife at the wall, got one of them to come investigate, and then I took his disguise, and then I walked out
actually letting me
confidently.
not do this.
Yeah. Walked out confidently right past them, and I stood in front of the door and tried to unlock it with my lockpicks, and then they tried to kill me. So there's no way to do this subtly that I know of. Yeah,
So
they're
is
trying
this-
to teach you point shooting. They're trying to teach you point shooting, but again, remember, I didn't have a tutorial prompt. So there are actually a lot of cases where things seem weird. For example, you guys might not have
It's
noticed,
pretty
but you couldn't take
fantastic, but it
disguises.
turns off the tutorial prompts.
Yeah. You couldn't take disguises until about halfway through this mission, and I had no idea why this was happening.
You know who I am.